seed, but it's the Cleveland State Vikings who are on the top of the FedEx Horizon League standings.
That's right, Brady. Cleveland State is holding onto that #1 spot in the Horizon League, and what's maybe most impressive about Cleveland State is that they represent the Horizon League in the NCAA tournament last year. They've had a target on their back, and they have played well all season long, and a big reason for that is the senior forward with guard skills, Torrey Patton. He's at his best really when attacking downhill. Does a great job of creating contact, taking the bumps, and still being able He's done a fantastic job at Florida State, and just look at what Coach Gates has done the last few years at Cleveland State. His teams play with great energy, great enthusiasm. They have balance, they have depth, and they have playmakers all across the board.
This should be an exciting matchup here. Of course, we're starting a little bit earlier thanks to the success of the Cincinnati Bengals. But I'm sure that these two teams won't mind getting this one over with, because I'm sure they enjoy a little bit of football action as well. A couple of Cleveland State starters are actually Southwest Ohio guys, and Torrey Patton and Deshaun Parker, as the tip goes to Northern Kentucky, and we are underway here on Bally Sports. Bryson Langdon will run the point. He's matched up against Parker. And Cleveland State goes with a lot of different defensive looks, but right now it looks like they're starting out with a man-to-man.
Well, Cleveland State will really mix it up defensively, but no matter what they're in, they're going to pressure the basketball. They're going to get their hands on it. You see it right there, already almost getting a turnover on Northern Kentucky.
Let's take a look now at our Cove Federal Credit Union officials. There you take a look at King Whitestone. He's joined by Steve Haneke, and a return appearance for Chris Beaver.
Well, and a nice play there from Bryson Langdon, the veteran point guard for Northern Kentucky, attacking Cleveland State, getting the ball to the logo, getting a defensive player up in the air, and drawing the contact.
Demoy Hodge commits the foul for the Vikings, as Langdon will go to the free throw line. Of course, just day and a half ago, actually, Northern Kentucky got a hard-fought win against Purdue-Fort Wayne on these same airwaves, as this is the middle of a 3-game stand here on Bally Sports, and pretty much the middle of a 5-game homestand. Next week, we'll be back on Bally's on Thursday against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, and then finish up on Saturday against Detroit Mercy. The free throw is missed, and the ball bounces around, and the Norse somehow end up with it.
Yeah, Brady, this has been a great week for Northern Kentucky so far, getting a big win in a rivalry game on Tuesday against Wright State, and then coming from behind on Friday night against a really good Purdue-Fort Wayne team. Northern Kentucky, I think, playing their best basketball of the year right now.
You see the rim protector, Spider Johnson, come into effect, and what a step through on the fast break by Trey Gomillion.
Yeah, Gomillion with just a little lay-me, Euro step left to right, and the nice finish for the guard from Cleveland State.
We talk a lot about the Chris Brandon and Adrian Nelson combination for NKU. Spider Johnson is all that, plus he is a prolific shot blocker.
Yeah, as you see, Deshaun Parker there, getting the steal at the point guard position. Nice drop down, and that's what he does well. He's great at facilitating and getting open shots for his teammates.
So Cleveland State jumps out to the 4-1 lead here in the 3rd inning, so to speak. For folks who are used to watching Cincinnati Reds baseball on these airwaves, here's Faulkner with it. He dribbles in, no good. And it looked like both Brandon and Johnson mistimed their jump. But Northern Kentucky gets it back, and it's Vincent out of the corner too strong. And Brandon has it actually knocked away by his own teammate, and the Norse get another offensive rebound regardless.
Well, Chris Brandon does such a great job on the glass, especially on the offensive end.
And again, Spider Johnson gets a rebound with a long outlet pass to begin the fast break.
Well, and you can see this pace for Cleveland State. They like to make it chaotic. They like to make it hectic and then turn defense into offense. We talked about it in the keys to the game. Both teams have to be able to handle pressure offensively. And right now, Cleveland State with the upper hand with the pressure on the defensive side.
Let's take a look at that last one there. That was actually the only half-court basket they've made. That was their Spider Johnson. but he has facilitated the break 2 different times with the long outlet pass, and I think Darren Horn wants to revisit that strategy. I mean, it's one thing to be able to get back on defense, but when you're throwing baseball passes like that, that's tough to defend unless you assign 1 or 2 people to not go in for the rebound and just be the get-back guy.
Well, but I think for right now, it comes down to Northern Kentucky being able to handle the pressure offensively. Can Faulkner, Vincent, Warwick handle that pressure from Cleveland State and get quality shots? And what Cleveland State does a really nice job of is if there is a breakdown, right, and Bryson Langdon gets to the rim, it's Deontay Johnson at the 5 position that can really affect shots at the rim.
So Northern Kentucky looking for its first offensive field goal of the game, and we are 2+ minutes into this one. Langdon, I thought he stepped on someone's foot. He regains his balance, and the floater by Vincent finally breaks the seal.
Well, and Sam Vincent, the true freshman for Northern Kentucky, has just been having a fantastic freshman campaign. 5-time Horizon League Freshman of the Week, and he's kind of become that calming force for Northern Kentucky.
You don't see that a lot out of a freshman, but he plays beyond his years, that's for sure. Johnson will go baseline, and he dribbles out of bounds. So a turnover by the Vikings, and now for Northern Kentucky, Trey Robinson will check into the game, and he'll come and get Marquez Warwick. And we also have a substitution for Cleveland State as Brock Finstoon, a senior out of Pine Island, Minnesota, transfer out of the University of the Pacific. And Pacific got a huge win last night against BYU. I don't know if you stayed up late to watch that game.
Oh, Brady, you know me. I was preparing. I was in bed getting my beauty sleep before this game right here.
I was preparing for this game as that was on the background noise, and Pacific came up with a huge win. They snapped like a 1-year calendar-long losing streak within conference. That Mark Pope's team took an L. Of course, his starting point guard is T.John Lucas, formerly a Horizon League player at Milwaukee, so I was kind of tuned into that a little bit. It all comes full circle, these 6 degrees of separations, and a lot of that has to do with the transfer portal now. As we get back to live action, here is Patton, who'll get it back out to Finstoon. Hodge for 3, short. Long rebound chased down by Sam Vincent.
Yeah, but Demoy Hodge for Cleveland State has a big-time ability to make shots from the three-point line. So don't be surprised with him taking shots 5-6 feet behind the three-point line. He's got the ultimate green light for Cleveland State.
Vincent gets it to Faulkner, who's guarded by Patton. Now Langdon, ball fake, decides to kick it out to Vincent for 3. That's off. And it's back tipped by Brandon into the hands of Gomillion, who'll lay it up and in.
Well, kind of an unlucky play there for Northern Kentucky. Chris Brandon working on the offensive glass, tries to tip it out and get it to a Northern Kentucky player, but it goes the other direction.
Robinson misses, and a loose ball will go out of bounds, and that'll take us to our first media timeout of the afternoon. Cleveland State jumps out to We've talked about it a lot this year, but Sam Vincent is probably the odds-on favorite to be the freshman of the year in the Horizon League.
And Brady, it just feels like he is running away with that award to become freshman player of the year in the Horizon League. We've already talked about it, 5-time freshman of the week already in this league. He had a career-high 24 points this year versus UIC, and what's been most impressive about his play as of late is his ability to close games. I mean, we saw it in both games this week, Brady, but when it came down to crunch time and which guy for Northern Kentucky was going to make winning plays at the end of the game, they turned to the true freshman to make those plays on both ends of the floor.
Oh, there's a wicked screen set there on Faulkner, and Hodge will finish down low. And if Vincent were to win that freshman of the year award, just to tie a bow on that, he'd be the second straight Northern Kentucky player to win that. And that's the second time Northern Kentucky has done that, going back to the GLBC days.
Yeah, and last year it was Marquez Warwick, now the sophomore for Northern Kentucky, winning that award. And, man, Warwick had an incredible freshman season scoring. As you see him right there, knocking down that three-point shot right on cue. And the sophomore had a little bit of a slow start this year for Northern Kentucky, but he has really found his shooting touch as of late. And the play of Warwick and Vincent in this 4-game winning streak has really been key for Northern Kentucky. which is really playing their best basketball of the year right now.
Here's Patton with it, top of the key. Gomillion drives baseline. He'll kick it out to Hodge, and he's a little short. And Spider Johnson ended up with the rebound, but a foul was called out on the floor, and that's against Sam Vincent from Northern Kentucky.
But that's the right idea from Cleveland State, attacking, looking opposite out of that matchup zone that Northern Kentucky plays. And you can see Deontay Johnson working on the offensive glass. I mean, both teams for Cleveland State and Northern Kentucky have bigs that are just relentless on the glass. That'll be fun to watch. When that shot goes up, watch those big guys working under the rim.
Mabor Mojak, number 50, checked in for Cleveland State. He's a 7-footer out of the South Sudan. Talk about bringing in size. Patton will measure one up from 3 and miss badly. And Nelson, who had just checked in the game, clears the board.
Well, and Torrey Patton is a big-time offensive player for Cleveland State, but he is not a great three-point shooter, especially when you look at his percentages under 30%. To me, that's not a great shot. I want Torrey Patton attacking the rim.
He played within our viewing area up at Trotwood Madison, and there's a long run out there. And again, it seems that Cleveland State is beating Northern Kentucky down to the floor, but it's almost as if they're cherry picking. They always got a guy hanging around half court to start the break.
Well, Cleveland State is definitely setting the tone with their pace, and if you're Northern Kentucky, you have to adjust. Like you were saying, you got to bring guys back, so that way Cleveland State doesn't have an easy lay-in at the rim.
Yeah, it's been run out after run out right now for Cleveland State after a missed Northern Kentucky shot. Is Yahil Hill checks into the game. He's a Cleveland native, and Trey Gomillion will go out.
Well, Cleveland State will go deep into their bench, and they have guys off the bench that can really impact the game.
Yeah, they have an impressive roster here. They didn't lose a whole lot last year, even though a couple of guys they were counting on, including their starting point guard, Craig Baudouin, who got injured in the second game of the year, but Deshaun Parker stepped in to fill his role pretty much seamlessly. Missed shot there by Northern Kentucky, and Finstoon starts the break. He kicks it out to Hill. Now Hodge, baseline, he's cut off by Nelson, and he hits the deck with no call. And that's a message sent right there.
Well, and there was just nowhere to go for Demoy Hodge as you get the kick from Hill. Hodge tries to drive to the corner, and Nelson does a great job just bodying up Hodge, playing without fouling, being strong defensively. Really fortunate for Hodge that Cleveland State's going to be able to keep this basketball.
Chris Green will now check in wearing number 13, and Patton will take a seat as Coach Gates getting his bench players into the game.
Yeah, good hands from Vincent there off that pass.
And that's that length we've talked about from Sam. 6'5". Hodge takes it away from Faulkner, but he had to foul to do so. And that's 2 fouls now on, well, that's only his first foul on the board.
But you can see how aggressive Cleveland State wants to be on the ball. I mean, you see right there, Faulkner's trying to work on Hodge. Hodge is going for that steal, and that's how Coach Gates wants his team to play. He wants them to go for steals. And then even off the ball, they almost kind of play like a cornerback in football, trying to locate that pass as it swings around the perimeter.
Here's Faulkner. He's trying to back down Finstoon. Now they'll circle it around to Warwick for 3, and he plays a little string music on a Sunday afternoon. So Northern Kentucky cuts it to a 1-possession disadvantage at this point. Seems like it's been a long time since Cleveland State has been able to score. And most of their points have come in transition. Here's Hill getting it over to Green. He'll just pull up on Nelson and rattle one in. I don't think that's what the play design was, but when they go in, that's exactly what the coach wants, right?
Yeah, and Chris Green really is at his best attacking the rim, as you see Cleveland State getting another turnover and steal off of Northern Kentucky, and that's just an easy bucket. And that's part of why Cleveland State leads the Horizon League in shooting percentage at over 46%, because they get a lot of shots like that due to their defensive pressure.
And it's just run out after run out right now, almost turning into a layup line for the Vikings. Here is Warwick with it to Faulkner. In the corner, Robinson, no good, and Warwick gets the offensive rebound. Northern Kentucky gets another opportunity. Warwick again for three, and he splashes another one. Back-to-back threes made by Marquez Warwick, and he now has 9 early points.
Yeah, Brady, and that's why I like to call Marquez Warwick the walking bucket. He can score in a variety of ways, and when he starts hitting shots from the three-point line, be careful because he will start attacking you and getting inside the lane.
Here's Hill with a spin move, and he'll dump it down to Finstone, who can't finish, but a great play. And then Vincent throws it off Finstone's leg, and it will go to Northern Kentucky when we come back from the break. Cleveland State with a 5-point
in bunches. You can see he's averaging just under 17 points in his last 8 games, and so far in this game he's getting it done from the three-point line. You cannot allow Marquez Warwick space, but then again he's a difficult matchup because if you press on him defensively, he's going to attack you, he's going to get to the rim, and he's got a big-time floater game. And in games where he scored 20+, which he has this year, 7 times in different games, he usually starts it by hitting shots from the three-point line, getting comfortable, and then he starts attacking you.
Now here comes Cleveland State showing press coming out of the timeout. And Warwick will have to get it across the timeline, and they don't get it across in time. I think Northern Kentucky took 4 or 5 seconds just recognizing what had just hit them.
Well, and taking care of the basketball for Northern Kentucky has been the biggest challenge so far in this game, and it really is for any team that plays against Cleveland State. And when you take a look at the numbers, I mean, Cleveland State has 12 fast break points, 14 points in the paint, 0 for Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky has to find a way to take care of the basketball and then make Cleveland State execute in the half court.
And that's already 6 turnovers committed by the Norse as Spider Johnson can't tap it in, and now a foul called on the loose ball. And that's going to be against Trey Gomillion of Cleveland State. Just his first foul and the team's 3rd. So Northern Kentucky will have to face this press again, and they're going to have to do a better job than they did last time.
Well, and when you're facing a full court press like this, you have to make the opposing team pay. You have to attack, get to the rim, get easy buckets, because once you break the press, it's not going to be a normal game where you can always execute in the half court. Once you beat it, you got to beat it, get to the rim, and try to take advantage of their positioning.
Hubie Perforius has checked in for Northern Kentucky. He wears 34 in white. As Warwick gets it to Hubie, and they close out on him quickly. Now Warwick will get it back, just 2 on the timer. Gonna have to force one up, and it doesn't even draw iron. And again, because it took so long to get it across the timeline, Northern Kentucky got sped up and didn't really react well.
Well, and that's part of where having a full court press can help you, right? Because you're taking 8-9 seconds off the shot clock for the opposing team. Northern Kentucky has to recognize when they beat that press, if they're not able to attack and get a bucket, then they got to work quickly into their offense.
So Gomillion gets it over to Parker, who's back in the game, another Southwest Ohio kid. He went to Huber Heights Wayne. Down low, and it's knocked away by Faulkner, but Johnson gets it back, and Patton can't finish. Now the loose ball, and it is last touched by Sam Benson, and it'll stay with Cleveland State, and they'll reset the timer at 20 seconds. So Parker will trigger. He'll get it into Patton. And a baby hook by Torrey Patton just goes across the lane. Little sweet move there. And the fella from Dayton is able to get in the book even further.
And Torrey Patton is a little bit of a matchup nightmare for opposing teams because he's only 6'5", but he's so physical. He plays at the forward position, but he really has guard skills. You saw it right there. Just great composure, plays with great pace, great job taking the contact and hitting that floater.
That is knocked away from Perforius, and here come the Vikings again. This time Northern Kentucky is back, and it's deflected out of bounds. And it'll go back to the Norse as Bryson Langdon checks in. Talk about Torrey Patton. A lot of guys describe his game as a YMCA game because he is a bit undersized. He seems like he's a post player because of his girth, but he's also got great guard skills. And at the end of the day, he plays with it himself, which makes you a great YMCA player.
I agree 100% with that, but at the end of the day, the kid is just a player. He's
That's
a guy.
right.
He's a guy that you want on your team. I mean, look what he did the other night against Wright State: 25 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals. Those are just the kind of nights that he has, and he doesn't force the issue. He finds opportunities and angles to go at the opposing team, as we see Faulkner for Northern Kentucky knocking down a much-needed three-point shot for the Norse.
Cuts the deficit to 4. It's his first basket of the day. And now Cleveland State with the ball. Hodge thought about shooting. Instead, it ends up in Johnson's hands at the free throw line. And look at Brandon get up in the air.
But that's how Northern Kentucky wins this game, is getting Cleveland State to execute on the offensive end in the half court.
Warwick for 3 on a nice kick out. And Marquez Warwick is red hot today.
And be careful if you're Cleveland State, because Marquez Warwick is capable of having those 25, 30-point nights.
Well,
he's shown it throughout his career at Northern Kentucky.
We saw him get his career high of 30 against Canisius in the non-conference schedule as Patton, maybe a little too far out of his price range, with a long three-point attempt. Now Northern Kentucky has a chance to take the lead. Warwick will get it over to Faulkner. Back to Warwick. He's got Johnson on him. I would think this is a matchup to take him off the dribble. Instead, it's a kick out to Faulkner. Too strong, and Warwick gets the long board.
Well, I know Faulkner just hit one, but that's a difficult shot with Parker right in his grill.
Vinson takes Gomillion down low. He can't finish, but he will go to the free throw line on the other side of the break. Northern Kentucky has a chance to either tie or take the lead when we come back. That's right.
You know, one loss doesn't take away from that, and you know, hopefully, as we get down toward the end of the season, we realize that this is a game that we can really learn from, and we've got a month to fine-tune and improve our offense a little bit. We've really struggled offensively here as of late, but really proud of what we've done so far.
So Sam Vincent hits the 2 free throws, and NKU takes its first lead of the day here, 20-19. And I hate to bring this up. You talk about having 4 losses, and unfortunately for me, I was on the call for 2 of them, and they were both here at home. And I don't want to say that I'm a jinx because I don't believe in that stuff, but I will apologize and hope that I can beg for your forgiveness.
Well, that is definitely not the reason. I've had several people tell me that. The 2 games I've come to, you guys have gotten beat. I'm like, well, we haven't played that many games at home, so.
That's right. And those were 2 very tough opponents you played. Yesterday, of course, was against Green Bay, and Kevin Borsett has probably won more games than I probably even watched.
Exactly.
So that's a tough matchup, and to think that those guys are in the middle of the road of the conference standings is a scary thought, because for once, they're not the hunted. They're the ones that are on the attack.
That's right. That's right. They past 3 years have been a little bit down, and even their down years are good years.
Right.
And he is a phenomenal coach, and they won our league so many years in a row. So they just know how to win this time of year, and they're always ready. And it's going to be a race down the stretch for that top 4.
And talk about, you know, the dogfight you're going to have. I mean, you're right now in the middle of a stretch of games where you were able to make up one of your postponed games, which will happen on Tuesday at UIC. Then you'll stay on the road to go to Fort Wayne and then to Cleveland State, who had won here earlier, and they're one of the top teams in the league. So talk about that. You guys kind of got yourself in the middle of a meat grinder after being forced to take about, 10 days off?
We do. We've got, I think it's 5 games in 9 days here this first week of February. So, you know, we're just going to grind it out. We've got a bench that I think, you know, this week we're definitely going to have to use a little bit more of, and, you know, try to manage that a little bit, just something we haven't had to do much lately. But I think our kids are ready to handle that, and we've played really well on the road, so I don't think they mind being on the road.
Sure, and let's talk about your bench. That's something you definitely need to get some more production out of, but it's been tough with these games. I know you're going to want to stick to your top 5 or 6 players, but at some point they're going to run into a wall as well. You've got 3 players averaging over 30 minutes per game.
That's right.
So talk about managing that, and with this UIC game coming up, that does give you the opportunity.
It does. You know, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting, Kennedy Igos a little bit more minutes, and hopefully Chris and Lindsay kind of come out of this little shooting funk that they're in. They've really struggled, and Carissa was so consistent for us, during that 10-game winning streak, and unfortunately last few games has struggled a little bit, but I've got a lot of faith in Carissa and Lindsay. Nobody works harder than those two. Nobody's in the gym more, so I know that they're going to get it together, and they're going to figure it out.
Somebody you probably didn't look to get a lot of playing time early in the season, but as there's a block there and a foul, Spider Johnson. Talk about having a rim protector. You have one of those. I'll go back to, I don't want to go, I had one thought, but that one there talked about you guys have a rim protector as well in Grayson Rose.
We do. I mean, Grayson I'm so thankful she came back for her 5th year, because she's having the best season she's had since she's been at NKU, and leading our conference in block shots, leading our conference in rebounding. She just defensively has been a beast. So I'm hoping that these last 8 games she can continue that and be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year.
There's a long 3-point shot there made by Yahil Hill, the Cleveland native playing for the Vikings. We've mentioned this before on your broadcast and such, but Lindsay Duval, that's an alpha female if there ever was one. And now with Ivy Turner starting to really become an outstanding, second option scoring-wise, that's going to take some pressure off Lindsay, but she doesn't allow that to happen in the 4th quarter, because she definitely is like, okay, get on my back, here it comes.
She does. And Lindsay and Ivy both, they're just winners. They come from winning programs. They're hard-nosed Kentucky kids who, have put in a lot of time and faced a lot of adversity in their careers. And so, it's really nice to see both of them just flourishing. And Ivy, the past 3 or 4 games, I mean, she's put up first-team all-conference numbers.
Well,
and
that's what,
playing really, really well.
And that's what we've talked about, Coach, is that it's going to be tough for her become a first-team all-conference, because Lindsay Duval is kind of standing in the way inadvertently, because not many times do 2 players from the same team be one of the top 5 players across the whole conference, especially in a league that's as good as this one.
You're right. It's going to be very tough for both of them to get it, but in my mind, and I think in the minds of most of the coaches in our league, those are 2 first-team all-conference guards. And regardless of the accolades, we just want to win the tournament. And that's really where our focus is trying to be playing our best in March.
So Cleveland State now extends its lead to 4 after Northern Kentucky briefly had the advantage. And that's the key. We talk about this with the men's team, and you're kind of in the driver's seat right now. And that's a long 3-pointer made by Jake Evans. And, talk about a guy coming off the bench, a walk-on, unheralded. And that's what you kind of found out, not that she's a walk-on, but Kylie Davis is somebody you didn't expect to play early on, and she has been a spark plug for you. She
has been. She didn't play in the Green Bay game last year or this past season. Well, I guess it was last year. Yeah. It was in November. It's been so long ago. But KD is, I think everybody has seen some small glimpses. She had a rough day yesterday, but, it doesn't take away from what she has brought to our team here recently, and really looking forward to coaching her over the next 3 years.
And then, of course, the end game is to get to Indianapolis, to be part of that Final Four, and a big way to get that done is to get that first-round bye into the quarterfinals and host. And right now, there's still a lot of landing strip, but you are in the driver's seat right now if you continue to take care of your business.
We are, and we control our own destiny. We talk about this all the time, just one game at a time. We prepare for every team the same, and we respect everybody we play. And Tuesday will be no different with UIC. We know we've got to go in there and be prepared and ready to go, and just take it one game at a time. And told the girls yesterday after the game, while it's disappointing, I think we can learn a lot from that 3rd quarter, because we really got outscored and outplayed in the 3rd quarter, and defensively didn't have a great one. So,
all right. I don't want to cut you off, because the next dead ball, we got to send you on your way. But I have to ask you this. You coached in a Cincinnati Bengals shirt up at Wright State last Saturday, and the Bengals play today right after this game's over. I got a feeling you're going to pick the Bengals, but by how many?
Oh, gosh. You know what? As long as they win, I don't care about how many. But I'm going to wear that same shirt soon as I leave here, I'm putting the same shirt back on because I've my superstition.
Well,
got to keep it rolling.
You look good in what you're in, but I'm disappointed you didn't have that shirt on to come in here.
I almost
Coach,
for it, but
it's been a great time
thank you
catching
for
up
having
with you. We'll see you down the pike here, and it's glad to have you here on Valley Sports.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to Valley Sports. It was good to catch up there with the head women's basketball coach, Cameron Whitaker, as we bring Brad Redford back into the fold. Brad, there's the history between these two schools, and it's dead even at 7 apiece. But even when Cleveland State was struggling before Dennis Gates and in between that era with Coach Gary Waters, they came in here and got a couple of big wins. So this has been a heated matchup ever since NKU joined the Horizon League.
Well, they have. Recent history has been on the Cleveland State side. So difficult to come here to BB&T Arena and take down an always talented and tough Northern Kentucky team. We've had a great first half so far. Cleveland State hitting a couple of threes there the last few minutes to kind of stretch out this lead to 6 over the Norse.
So NKU trailing now 31-25, and Nelson misses, and a rebound here by the Vikings as Deshaun Parker brings it up. And one of my favorite players for Cleveland State in the game right now, the big guy at the top of the key, number 15, Anderson Marambo out of the Dominican Republic. He's listed at 6'8".
Look at that pass.
And he passes from his
that,
backside.
That was all scripted. He's smiling like that because it's all scripted. I mean, the big man Marambo's got some of the most nimble feet in America.
That's what we were watching him after our game. We watched Wright State play Cleveland State, and that's the takeaway I took. He's a giant man that doesn't look really good in a uniform, but that doesn't mean he's out of shape.
Oh, he can play. I mean, he's got great feet, loves playing with his back to the basket, and he's got vision, as you saw in that last play.
As Vincent gets the baby hook in the painted area. But yeah, the big fella's not going to give you many minutes per game, but he was very effective against Wright State with 4 points and 3 rebounds in a season-high 8 minutes. Oh, there's a bullet pass down low, and Hodge finishes.
Yeah, it's just a big-time look right there, and Hodge, great job moving without the basketball.
A foul was called there after the basket, and it's against Hodge, so a little nickel dimer there, and that's going to be his second. They're going to keep him out there, though. Hodge out of the Virgin Islands, a transfer from State College of Florida. He was all set to go to Florida State, but then when Coach Gates was hired to Cleveland State, he changed his commitment. And now he's a little frustrated with Coach Gates because he says, I can play with 2 fouls for a minute 49. But Coach Gates, I think, was the cooler head, and he should have prevailed.
Well, Hodge is an impressive player, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he leads Cleveland State in points and steals per game. He gives you energy on both sides of the ball. I love the way that he shoots it from the perimeter. Being a shooter like myself, I like seeing guys with that quick pop when they have an open shot. I mean, if he gets a little bit of space, it's going up. And most times for Hodge in Cleveland State, it's going in.
Nelson lays it up and in for Northern Kentucky. And to kind of finish the point on Hodge, he knocked down 10 3-pointers in a game last year against Purdue-Fort Wayne, scoring a career-high 46 points. He's got a 31-point performance this year, so he is a guy that can fill it up.
Well, we talked a lot about Warwick earlier in the game, about what he can do from a scoring perspective. He can have those big nights, and Hodge is the same way for Cleveland State.
Warwick misses from the outside, and now Patton has it knocked away momentarily and retrieves. That one's deflected, I believe, by Vincent, and that'll go out of bounds and will stay with Cleveland State as we're under a minute to go before our Meyer halftime show, which will be coming up. And now it's going to take a little bit longer to get to as Cleveland State decides to use its lose or use timeout here with 56.3 left.
Well, and I like that timeout from Coach Gates. I mean, this is an opportunity for Cleveland State to stretch that lead out. I mean, they're going to have 2 possessions likely on the offensive end here.
Tonight's production is crewed entirely by Northern Kentucky University students. They gain valuable hands-on experience that will benefit them as they enter the job market. For more information on the electronic media and broadcasting major and the many other degree programs offered by Northern Kentucky University, log on to the website nku.edu. Northern Kentucky University, success by design. Is that Travis Martin I see with a camera in his face?
That's 100% Travis right there.
That's right. Now, he's a young man you're familiar with as well, right?
He is. I mean, Travis does a fantastic job here at Northern Kentucky. And, you know, Travis and I may be working on another project together. But, you know, I'm not going to bring that up. I'm not going to bring that up into full detail on air right now. Okay?
But, you know, a lot of projects are going on because of the talented nature of these students that a lot of times in the not-so-distant past, as the shot is missed by Feinstein, is that it used to be you had to kind of wait till you got graduated and got your degree to kind of hit the ground running in the job market. But today it's changed because the technology has changed, and it's the young people that have the advantage because they don't know any other way than the technology they're using, and they just come here to hone their skills and make connections with guys like you and create projects.
I 100% agree with that, but I think they come here to Northern Kentucky to be around brave labor. I mean, I think that's what it's all about.
That's a fringe benefit.
There you go.
I don't know if it is the deciding factor. But it is
definitely a factor.
It's one that's down on the list probably pretty far as the missed shot is rebounded by Patton. Oh, what a nice over-the-head pass by Jason Woodridge, who checked into the game, the sophomore out of Beechwood, Ohio. Look at the replay there, and that's a block called foul on Robinson.
But Brady, that's the way that Cleveland State wants to play. I mean, they want to play fast. They want to play in transition and get to the rim, and that's when they're at their best.
So Patton will go to the free throw line after he was fouled. I guess they actually called the foul against Marquez Warwick. So that's what the board is showing here. And there it is. And it's just Robinson who comes in on the back end. And he actually had a clean block, but the foul was committed first. So Northern Kentucky down by 7 with the ball. About 3 seconds separate the timer and the shot clock. Vincent, he's guarded by Hill. Vincent is just going to go down to a certain number and run the offense. He's going to use the screen from Nelson. Driving baseline is Robinson. He ducks it down low to Nelson, who can't finish. And with 4.7 left to go before halftime, it'll be Adrian Nelson going to the line as he is fouled by Mabor Mojak. So Nelson, a 53% free throw shooter, will go to the line here for Northern Kentucky.
Well, a nice job by Northern Kentucky on the offensive end, not giving Cleveland State a lot of time to get a bucket on the other end. And I like that play from Robinson, attacking, finding an open Nelson. And Nelson has been doing a much better job at the finishing position for Northern Kentucky.
So Nelson makes the first. And he gets a chance for a second, and he can't make that one. And will Cleveland State get a shot off? Green from half court, and it misses, and that'll take us to the intermission. Cleveland State jumped out to a lead, and they've held on to it for the most part as they lead Northern Kentucky 36-30 here on Bally Sports. We'll be back with a Meyer halftime show coming up here in just a few short minutes.
Cleveland State able to go into halftime with that 6-point lead.
Actually, let's go to some highlights instead.
Well, we see Marquez Warwick here. He had 12 points in the first half for Northern Kentucky. All 4 of his threes got him to 12. You see Cleveland State here. The nice drop down to Demoy Hodge for the bucket. And then Northern Kentucky goes to the true freshman Sam Vincent with a nice floater right there for the Norse. So it was a fun first half, Brady. Looking forward to a good second half of action here at BB&T.
What is Northern Kentucky going to have to do in order to overcome this 6-point lead and hold off this very good Vikings team off?
Well, they have to make Cleveland State play in the half court, and we talked about it early on in the game, but they can't turn the ball over and allow Cleveland State to dictate the pace of play. And for Cleveland State, they want to keep turning defense into offense. This is going to be an important 4 minutes for Northern Kentucky here.
So Cleveland State starts with the ball and the lead here to open up our second stanza. Here's Trey Gomillion. Oh, nice slash to the basket, and that's something that happened a lot in that first game, is that those backdoor cuts and living on the baseline for Cleveland State.
Boy, when you play against Cleveland State, they test your vision off of the ball, and that time Demoy Hodge, which a great backdoor cut, and Gomillion found him with a nice drop down.
Here's Bryson Langdon with it. He gets it into Brandon. He'll work on Spider Johnson. Instead, he'll kick it back out. Langdon, oh, he finds the open Warwick through the trees. No good. And Brandon with the stick back.
Yeah, I felt Warwick, that's a shot that he likes right there. That floater with the offhand, missed it, but no problem. Brandon was able to get that bucket.
Cleveland State and Northern Kentucky have traded buckets here to begin the second half. Gomillion with a wild shot off the glass goes in.
Boy, that's just a big-time play from the senior Trey Gomillion, attacking the Northern Kentucky defense, taking the contact and making the tough bucket.
Here's Langdon. Now it's Brandon again. He'll swing it around to Faulkner for 3, short, and Brandon got stuck defending or trying to get a rebound, and 2 guys there. Back on the other end, here is Parker for Cleveland State. He pulls up top of the key inside the arc, no good, and Brandon with another board. Langdon trying to push that pace. Vincent over Gomillion, got it. Sam Vincent starting to heat up as well. We saw him. He's been very good down the stretch of games, and you know, not to say he only is good in the second half, but he's really better in the second half.
Well, and Sam Vincent just impacts the game in so many ways. Already 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in this ball game. He just finds ways to fill up the stat sheet each night.
Gomillion with a jump stop through traffic, and he'll go to the free throw line. Looks like Bryson Langdon will be the guilty party for Northern Kentucky, just his first foul. And let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah, see Gomillion attacking here. The nice jump stop on Bryson Langdon and showing the ability to draw the contact. You know, watching Gomillion on film really feels like he's the emotional leader for Cleveland State. Last year was named Defensive Player of the Year in the Horizon League. But he's not just a guy that gets it done on the defensive end. He's averaging over 10 points per game, just a 65% free throw shooter, but a guy that has a nice stroke, very capable of hitting shots at the line.
As a brother that played at Mercer, he's from the state of Georgia, Augusta to be exact, and played at Gordon State College for a year before transferring to Cleveland State as he makes the free throws. Now Northern Kentucky will get it across the timeline. Cleveland State with a 7-point lead here in Northern Kentucky, trying to make up some ground here. They at one point had tied the game and took a 1-point lead. But Cleveland State quickly erased that. Ooh, little heartbreak hotel for Marquez Warwick. And here comes Cleveland State.
Boy, that was a great action there from Northern Kentucky to get Marquez Warwick an open look. A guy that's already hit 4 threes in this ball game.
Torrey Patton drives the baseline and puts it in, and now a foul on the, that's 3 on Demoy Hodge. Can't say the other end because they didn't get to the other end of the floor yet, because Cleveland State is throwing on that press after made baskets.
Yeah, and for Demoy Hodge, that's just not a great play for him to make. Already has 2 fouls. So important to this Cleveland State team. I don't like him trying to get a cheap turnover right there.
So that's 3 on him, the first of the second half for the Vikings. And here's Faulkner, tough shot, no good, and Gomillion ends up with the loose ball rebound. Gomillion with it now, getting it into Patton. There's a mismatch there until he dribbles into Brandon, who causes the tie-up, and that'll go to Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, when you catch the ball in the short corner and you're playing against Northern Kentucky, you have to be so strong with the basketball because they're going to come with 2 players. You had Bryson Langdon on one side of Patton, and then Chris Brandon coming over, just being strong, physical, and able to get that tie-up.
Trey Robinson checks in now, and Bryson Langdon will go out. So Northern Kentucky will have a little bit more length with the 6'6" Robinson checking in for the 5'9" Langdon. But Langdon is a sure ball handler as Cleveland State throws the press on, and it takes Northern Kentucky 8 seconds to go across the timeline. Vincent juggled it. Now he's got it. He has to kick it out to Faulkner. No good, and Brandon will swat it back out to Warwick. Faulkner now drives and has it knocked away by Hodge.
Yeah, just
Hodge
careless.
on the other end. Lays it up and in.
And that's the way that Cleveland State plays. And Trayvon Faulkner has to be stronger with the basketball for Northern Kentucky, because if you're not strong with the ball, Cleveland State is going to get a steal, and they're going to go the other way.
Warwick now. He tried to get it to Brandon, who wasn't watching on the roll, and now another run out. And again, just like we saw in the first half, it's turned up into a layup drill for Cleveland State, and Darren Horn can't wait for the media timeout. He's going to take us to our first second half break, and Cleveland State has Welcome back to the BB&T Arena here on Bally Sports. Northern Kentucky right now trailing 48-35. And let's talk about a couple guys that you've kind of named the Board brothers.
That's Adrian Nelson and Chris Brandon for Northern Kentucky. 2 guys that just affect the game with what they do, rebounding the basketball on both ends of the floor, but especially what they do on the offensive glass. You see Nelson over 3 a game, Chris Brandon just under 3. But these guys are the reason why Northern Kentucky is the top rebounding team in the Horizon League, averaging over 36 a game. But more importantly, on the offensive end, they're averaging over 13 a game. Those second chance points are so important to Northern Kentucky. Chris Brandon right there, Adrian Nelson, so important to what the Norse do on the offensive end.
And Chris Brandon's led the way tonight with 8 rebounds and 4 on the offensive end as Trey Robinson can't finish. And Vincent will come away with a loose ball finally. Now it's Warwick. And he'll just pull it out and reset. 11 on the timer. Warwick drives, lays it up off the banking board and in.
Boy, just a big-time play there from Marquez Warwick. I mean, that's a difficult shot, but a guy as talented as Marquez Warwick makes it look easy.
Cleveland State looks for the answer. Here's Torrey Patton back out to Parker. They got Hodge. Into Spider Johnson at the elbow. A
nice
little spin move action and a finish. Deontay Spider Johnson with a guard move right there.
Right. That's just a big boy move right there from Deontay Johnson.
And he is deceivingly a really great player. A lot of people just think of him as a defender and a shot blocker, but he has a good offensive game.
He is, and part of it is just how talented the guys around Johnson are on the offensive end. So a lot of that attention goes to Hodge. It goes to guys like Patton. But Deontay Johnson can do it on both ends of the floor.
Northern Kentucky trailing by 13 as we come back from Bally Sports, Ohio. Fans, Indianapolis is the heart of college basketball, and every March, the home of the Horizon League Basketball Championships. The action starts March 1st and 3rd on campus sites before culminating in Indianapolis March 7th and 8th at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Come join the excitement and find out who will reach the horizon. For more information, go to horizonleague.com/Indy. We talked with Cameron Whitaker. The women's team is in a really good position to get there, and hopefully for the men's team, they can join them there as well.
Yeah, and you're fighting for one of those top 4 seeds going into a conference tournament play. You get one of those top 4 seeds, you get a bye, you get a home game. I mean, that's a huge advantage as you try to win that championship and get an opportunity to put on your dancing shoes and play in the NCAA tournament.
And make no mistake, if you're a 5 through 8 seed, you get a home game, but you don't get a bye, so you have to play an extra game, which would end up being on the road. So, you know, it's a consolation prize, but still not really what you want. Here is Vincent. He pump fakes, he drives. Now he gets out to Evans. Back to Vincent. This time he'll blow by Johnson, and Spider puts 2 hands on him to keep him from finishing at the rim, and that's a good foul there out on the floor for Cleveland State.
Yeah, and it feels like if Northern Kentucky is going to get back in this game, it's going to have to be Vincent and Warwick attacking on the offensive end. You see the freshman Vincent right there taking advantage of Johnson on the perimeter, and you're right, a good foul by Johnson there on Sam Vincent.
It's triggered into Warwick, and they quickly trap him, so he has to get it out to Nelson. Boy, they do such a good job in Cleveland State on closeouts. Robinson will drive baseline, and he'll have it swatted away by Patton, but Corey Patton commits the foul. Torrey Patton commits the foul. So that'll put Robinson to the line. They're saying he was in the act of shooting. Probably a break for Northern Kentucky, as we see the replay there. So Trey Robinson, the sophomore out of Hamilton, Ohio, played for the Big Blue. And he hits the first free throw as the crowd was very polite in their silence for him.
They were.
That was awkward as heck.
It got very quiet.
That was eerily similar
arena
to last year when this place was empty. Remember when we were having to do that?
Man, last year doing games with 0 spectators in the audience, it got very quiet when you and I were calling these games, especially at the free throw line. And it felt like when we were talking that we were affecting that shooter on the line. So a lot of times we elected just not to say anything.
Or do the golf whisper, just because it was creepy and funny at the same time. The more people mentioned how creepy it was, the more I wanted to do it. Just that's kind of how that stuff
well,
works.
That
so
kind of speaks. That might speak volumes to the audience about the kind of guy that Brady Labor is.
That's a personal quirk, but you know. At some point, you got to entertain yourself in those situations as Gomillion kicks it out to Yaheel Hill, who parries one in the bottom of the sack.
Well, and that's what makes Cleveland State so difficult is guys coming off the bench like Yaheel Hill that have huge games. I mean, he's led Cleveland State in scoring at times this year, and he's made a big impact on this game. But when you're preparing for Coach Gates' team, it's just so difficult because you got so many guys on the roster that can impact the game and hurt you.
Hill on the other end commits the foul against his opposite number, Sam Vincent. And that's his first, the team's 4th. Only Kentucky's committed just 1 foul here in the second half. And Vincent will take the inbounds pass, and he'll work. The swing around to Warwick. He'll drive. One more to Evans, who ball fakes, and it'll be Vincent with 8 on the timer. Got it! Sam Vincent plays a little string music here. And Northern Kentucky trying to get the deficit under 10 right now. That's the first goal you got to make.
And that was a great possession there from Northern Kentucky on the offensive end. Selling shot fakes, ball fakes, finding the open man, and then now doing it on the defensive end.
Hodge misses, and now Northern Kentucky races to the other end, and they can't make the layup, so they'll have to get into a half-court set. Nelson will come out and screen for Vincent, but Johnson does a great job of helping. Now it's Evans all alone, too strong, and Gomillion gets the rebound. And Evans comes up with an interception. Work for 3. Short. Oh, I thought Robinson was going to have a thunderous stick back. Instead, here's Cleveland State on the other end trying to chase down the errant pass. Whole lot of action, but it turns out not a lot happened. So Northern Kentucky will take it to the break. They trail by 11. It's time. Fans, welcome back to Bally Sports, and our next home game here is coming up on Thursday, and it'll be the third and final of our Bally Sports games, and it doesn't get much easier as the Golden Grizzlies from Oakland come to town, and Greg Campy and Jamal Cain, Jalen Moore, Trey Townsend, they got a crew of guys here, and you think this one's tough. Thursday will be probably just a little bit tougher.
Yeah, Northern Kentucky is in that time of their season where they're playing some of the more difficult teams in the league, but good for them. At least it's all at home.
And it makes for great content to put your best foot forward to have it on Bally Sports, which is a large audience for us here in the Cincinnati, Southwest Ohio, Northern Kentucky, Southeast Indiana area. As Faulkner buries one from long range, and maybe that's what Northern Kentucky needs to start this would-be comeback.
Yeah, and Northern Kentucky's got to do it with great ball movement, right? Execution on the offensive end. They're not going to get it all back in one possession. I think they've done a great job so far kind of staying in this game, and they're definitely within striking distance as we go into the last 11 minutes here.
Well, you got it underneath the double-digit mark, and they will get it back to 10, and it's Hill who gets credit with the basket as Johnson was close to interfering around the rim.
Yeah, and Hill 8 points now coming off the bench in just 10 minutes for Cleveland State. He has made some big plays on the offensive end.
Here's Vincent with it for Northern Kentucky on the near side, back to Warwick. And this is a zone look here that Cleveland State gives coming out of the timeout. From the elbow, Faulkner with back-to-back buckets.
Well, and I love that. Northern Kentucky getting it to a playmaker, and Trayvon Faulkner at the logo in that zone, and he knows what to do. Just faces up that Cleveland State defender. A little fadeaway. Faulkner loves that shot inside the three-point line.
Northern Kentucky's got to start to get some stops here, and a floater by Hill once again. This time it misses, and Faulkner comes away with a loose ball. So you get Cleveland State into an empty trip, and now Evans is short, but Faulkner gets the offensive board. You got to answer if you're Northern Kentucky with points. And then there's a little nickel dimer there that bails Warwick out, called against Brock Finstoon. He played well in that first half. And now Bryson Langdon will check in for Northern Kentucky. Also, I believe that's Torrey Patton returning, and Demoy Hodge leaves for the Vikings. 55-47, Cleveland State leads. Just over 10 minutes left to go in this one. Work triggers from the sideline. Faulkner, little heat check action there as it comes up short, and Patton comes away with a rebound. Patton, the one-man fast break and the finish.
Man, Patton just has creative ways of getting to the basket, and when he's going downhill like that, it's so difficult as a defender to slow him down. I mean, he just makes it look easy when he attacks you in that way.
Vincent misses the floater from the short baseline corner, but Northern Kentucky with yet another offensive rebound. Way downtown from Warwick, and he bangs one in. 17 points for the sophomore out of Lexington.
Yeah, and Marquez Warwick has had his shooting goggles on all afternoon. He has been filling it up from the three-point line.
Johnson from the free throw line, and it goes in. Spider Johnson with his 8th point. And Cleveland State just keeps coming back with answers. Northern Kentucky working on this zone. Warwick, now it's Faulkner at the logo. Nice dump down and a stufferino for Adrian Nelson.
Gosh, I just love that ball movement and execution from Northern Kentucky. Finding Langdon at the logo, and Langdon knew right where he was going with the basketball. Great job making a quick decision and not allowing Cleveland State defenders to eat up your space.
Patton has it knocked away, and here come the Norse. Warwick leads it to Vincent, up and in. And Northern Kentucky cuts the deficit to 5.
And I love that simple bounce pass from Marquez Warwick, and you give Vincent that kind of space in transition, he's going to finish at the rim.
And Cleveland State will call timeout. Dennis Gates can't wait for the media break. So Taking a look at Adrian Nelson, he helped spearhead this run. Northern Kentucky scored its first fast break bucket of the day, but it all started right here in the half court when Bryson Langdon, right there, finds Adrian Nelson.
Boy, and that's just a great find for Bryson Langdon and big-time execution from Northern Kentucky. You see as Faulkner gets the ball at the top of the key, you get Langdon getting to the logo. That's where you want to get the basketball against that 2-3 zone that Cleveland State is showing on the defensive end. And for Northern Kentucky, it's Sam Vincent and Marquez Warwick leading the way once again. Sam Vincent with 14 points, Marquez Warwick with 17. Those two guys have been the playmakers for Northern Kentucky. And then you got guys stepping up like Adrian Nelson, Bryson Langdon making plays. And when you think Cleveland State's going to stretch that lead out, Northern Kentucky keeps coming back and making plays. Cleveland State needs to pick up that defensive pressure, which leads to their offense.
Cleveland State is led by as many as 14, and that was just 6 minutes ago in clock time, as that was a bad miss right there for the Vikings. And here come the Norse. UB Provorius back in the game. They'd like to get him going again like he was before he injured his back towards the end of the calendar year. Here is Vincent. Working on Parker, still working on him. Now Langdon gets it back, 5 on the timer. He'll get past Hill with a floater. You're right, that was a tough shot by the little guy.
That's a big-time move from Bryson Langdon. Keep in mind at home, Bryson Langdon only 5'9", but he plays much bigger and stronger than that. And the veteran guard always makes big plays for the Norse.
And Hill settled for first available. Brandon gets the rebound. He is fouled, and the crowd is starting to become a part of this game.
Well, and this is what Northern Kentucky did on Friday. I mean, Purdue-Fort Wayne, I felt like really controlled that game on Friday night, but it was Northern Kentucky the last 10 minutes of that game where they really took over and went on that big run. It was very similar to what we're seeing right now.
So Northern Kentucky has a chance to tie the game here. They're trailing by 3, and now Cleveland State is going to show press, and Northern Kentucky struggled with this earlier in the game. Now they'll fall back into a man-to-man with Langdon running the point. Now they're going to try to heat him up, so he gets it to Faulkner. Faulkner, the kick out, one more. Langdon really wasn't in a great shooting position, but Warwick is no good, and it's going to be Langdon who chased it down. It was deflected, so it'll reset at 30. Faulkner for 3, and we're all tied up at 59.
Hey, and how about the senior Trayvon Faulkner hitting a big-time three-point shot for Northern Kentucky.
The third Northern Kentucky player to reach double figures here this afternoon. And the fans are right now on their feet.
Well, they know how much this game means. I mean, when you're playing a Cleveland State team, the team that has the #1 spot in the Horizon League right now, you have an opportunity to get the W. And Northern Kentucky on the defensive glass and on the offensive glass, just dominating on both sides.
Yeah, it's one and done for Cleveland State on offense right now. Here's Vincent driving for the lead. Got it! Northern Kentucky with its largest lead of the day at 2. Only the second time they've had the lead all day.
Brady, we might need to stop calling Sam Vincent a freshman. I mean, the kid is just a player and continues to make big plays in big moments once again.
We got to keep calling him a freshman so he wins that Freshman of the Year award. But I agree with you totally. At some point, a freshman has matured to where you overlook that he's a first-year player at that point. Missed shot there, and Cleveland State will chase it down. And Deshaun Parker threw it off of Vincent, it looked like, to keep the possession safe.
Well, they actually called a foul on Sam Vincent, so they got him reaching in on that play. A little bit of a cheap foul right there. We're going to get a replay here on the offensive end.
In the corner. It's his second. That's actually on the bucket where he takes the lead, where Northern Kentucky takes the lead. And now we'll get back to live action here as Cleveland State will inbound it. Patton, he's going to get past Warwick with a step through, no good, and it's rebounded by Brandon. Brandon reaching double figures in rebounds. And now Langdon will slow things down. Chris Brandon now with, that was his 10th rebound.
Yeah, Warwick thought about that one too with how hot he's been from the three-point line.
Langdon finds a slashing Vincent.
What a move.
Reverse layup and in.
Come on, Sam Vincent. You're doing too much right now. You're doing too much.
He's digging deep into his bag of tricks right now.
no doubt number 2 is in his bag right now for the Norse.
So it's now a 4-point Northern Kentucky lead. And quite frankly, Cleveland State looks a bit rattled. Here's Patton with it now. He runs into Langdon, and will they count the bucket as they call the foul on Bryson Langdon? Let's wait for the official to make his call. He calls it against Langdon, and apparently it was before the shot.
You see Patton just attacking downhill for Bryson Langdon. That was the right idea. You know, Patton's got a head of steam. He's going downhill. He's a straight line driver. Did as good of a job as he could trying to take that contact from Patton and drawing the foul. And that's, you know, a play that Langdon makes most of the time, but Patton makes it really difficult for you.
They get it into Hodge, and he's fouled quickly. And that's going to be against Chris Brandon. Again, if they call it on the floor, that is not a bad foul at all because it's only the 4th team foul. So a big break where they called the foul on the drive as opposed to the shot, which would have been a 3-point opportunity. And Cleveland State will have to inbound it again, and another quick foul on the inbounds pass against Northern Kentucky. This time it's Warwick, and you're still committing fouls on the floor, not being in on the bonuses. That's number 5.
Yeah, but Northern Kentucky is going to continue with that physicality, and they're going to continue with that defensive pressure. I mean, all the momentum is on the north side right now. They got to keep attacking on both ends. So I don't mind the fouls. You know, Cleveland State's not in the bonus yet, so look for Northern Kentucky to remain physical right now.
They have one more to give, but Demoy Hodge will silence the crowd here and hit a 3-point shot, the first bucket in quite some time for Cleveland State, and Northern Kentucky's lead is now 1 as we start to approach the 4-minute mark. Here's Langdon with it. Warwick. Now he'll drive, and a reach-in foul by Hodge, and that will be the team's 7th foul. So Northern Kentucky will start to go to the free throw line now, starting with Marquez Warwick for a 1-and-1 opportunity. And for Hodge, that is his 4th foul. So that is duly noted that the first foul trouble of the game is found by Demoy Hodge, as Evans will come in to replace Vincent, probably till we get to the media break. (63-62) is the score. Warwick at the foul line will make the first and earn the second, as Jason Woodridge will check in. He played briefly late in the first half, and Parker will go out. So Warwick on the season, a very good free throw shooter, nearly 80%. And the announcer's jinx didn't work there, Brad Redford.
I mean, Marquez Warwick, too good of an offensive player.
To overcome my buffoonery.
Especially at this time of the game. When it's winning time,
that's right.
Marquez Warwick knows what to do with the basketball.
So it's a 3-point Northern Kentucky lead. Cleveland State with the ball, and we are at the 4-minute mark. Go Million, looking to work on Warwick. Over top of him, off the glass, no good. Johnson gets the rebound. Woodridge will step into one and come up short, and it's Warwick with the rebound. He'll get it to Langdon. Now he'll get it back. Northern Kentucky will slow things down as Warwick will run the point. Evans, back to Warwick. Warwick gets it back for 3. No good, but it's Brandon with another offensive rebound and the stick back.
What a play by Chris Brandon. Just changes the game with what he does on the offensive glass. A very timely one right there for Brandon.
Chris Brandon has a chance to complete an old-fashioned 3-point play when we come back here on Valley Sports. Transportation impact performance has come from Marquez Warwick of Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, Marquez Warwick has been a problem all game long for Cleveland State. 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He's made 5 threes in the ball game. That time right there, you see him attacking the rim with the floater, which he loves going to that left hand on the floater, and then that's really where he's done the majority of his damage scoring. is hitting open three-point shots, but Northern Kentucky is going to need more of that to pull off this victory. Cleveland State is not going to go down easy. They're 10-1 in the Horizon League, 14-4 overall for a reason. They're going to continue fighting here. It should be a great finish to this ball game.
Brandon gets the old-fashioned three-point play, and now he will depart in favor of Adrian Nelson. Brandon now with 5 points and 11 rebounds, but just to touch back on Marquez Work again, his 5 3-pointers ties a career high he set last year, but it is a new season high as he had 4 2 times during a game, including that 30-point performance against Canisius back in December. Here's Hodge. We approach the 3-minute mark, and Northern Kentucky up by 6, but
yes,
Patton will cut into that as he drives down the boulevard for a layup.
Tough drive. I mean, Torrey Patton, a big-time offensive player, just very difficult to stay in front of. And when he gets ahead of steam, it's just so hard to stop him from getting to the rim and getting the bucket.
Here is Langdon over to Warwick. Faulkner now trying to get it back to work, but Gomillion kind of spying him, so Faulkner takes it himself. Nelson fighting Johnson for the rebound, and it's Patton who ends up coming away with it. Patton, the kick out. Here's Woodridge. That's deflected, but still goes into the hands of Hodge, who checked back in. That one rattled everything, touched the glass, and fell back in. Sometimes you're just living right, and the Vikings have cut it to 1.
Yeah, but Demoy Hodge is not the guy that you want to leave open if you're Northern Kentucky. He's a big-time shooter. He's got 18 points now in this ball game.
Here's Warwick with it. He drives,
great look,
wrap around to Nelson, who lays it up and in.
Boy, what vision from Marquez Warwick. I mean, we know he can get it done in the scoring column. He draws 2 Cleveland State defenders, and he knows where the open guy is.
Patton bullies his way through traffic and can't make the shot. 2 men ended up down for the Vikings, so they're slow to get back. Here's Warwick. And now Langdon will settle down because Gomillion and Patton made it down to even the numbers. That's a veteran move.
It is. A great decision there from Bryson Langdon just to slow it down. Let's work on getting a good shot here.
Now we'll direct traffic. He asks Nelson for the screen. And here's Warwick. He'll pull up. Too strong, but Nelson going after the loose ball.
Yeah, but the shot clock's about to hit.
And I think they're going to say it was out of bounds on Northern Kentucky anyway, so either way, it's Cleveland State's ball, regardless of the tomato of whether it's a shot clock violation or not. As Woodridge checks out, who put in some good minutes there.
Well, and it's actually not a bad shot from Marquez Warwick. I mean, you think about the game that he's had to this point. Johnson for Cleveland State, good job just affecting that shot enough where Warwick couldn't get a great look.
So a 3-point Northern Kentucky lead. Cleveland State now looks at a Northern Kentucky press. As basically it's just the extension of that 2-3 zone. Hodge for 3, short, rebounded by Finstoon, and he is fouled and will go to the free throw line as Chris Brandon is the guilty party, committing his second. That's the team 6, so now both teams are in the bonus from this point forward, as Finstoon will go to the line and he will shoot 2 with 1:02 left to go. And the crowd starts to get loud here. Finstoon, a 61% free throw shooter, and he makes the first.
Yeah, Northern Kentucky, it's pretty much been 1 shot and 1 rebound on the offensive end for Cleveland State. That time, not a great time to give up a rebound to Cleveland State.
Cleveland State has the possession arrow in its favor, by the way, if that becomes an issue, as Finstoon makes both free throws. Cleveland State cuts the NKU lead to 1. They were going to put Parker in the game and decided against it. So now the Norse will look at this press that has given them problems. Now they're going to fall back, and Langdon will get it across. Langdon hands off to Faulkner. Now another handoff to Warwick. We're under a minute left. Northern Kentucky with the lead in the ball. Warwick with 9 on the timer, being guarded by Patton. He'll go to work. 3 on the timer. Langdon.
Wow.
Oh, and it counts.
What a shot from Bryson Langdon. I mean, in that situation, Cleveland State did everything they needed to do on the defensive end. Torrey Patton, great job defending, but Bryson Langdon, the veteran point guard, again, making a huge play in crunch time for Northern Kentucky.
Well, it's not necessarily a game winner, but we've seen him have 3 game winners or game tying shots. One of them earlier in the year against Eastern Michigan, but last year against Ball State in the opener, also on the road at Robert Morris. And he converts the 3-point play to make it a 2-possession game. And that's just a clutch money player.
Oh, man. I mean, Northern Kentucky really not a great possession on the offensive end. Warwick had the ball at half court with 8 seconds left. He had to go mano-a-mano on Torrey Patton with all eyes on him. But you got to credit Langdon for just making a big-time play in a clutch moment.
Patton drives and will get fouled. He couldn't finish, but does have an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws as it's Sam Benson. Yeah, the officials signaled Sam Benson, but the scoreboard said 21.
Well, and I like Pat just attacking here, right? Just because you're down 4 points with 30 seconds on the clock. A lot of teams that you watch at the college level, what do? They try and get a 3-point shot.
But the key is you got to score. It doesn't matter at that point if it's 2 or 3.
You just got to score quick.
That's right,
I mean,
and do it quickly. You're exactly right. And Patton can't do that as he misses the first free throw. So Evans and Brandon go out. Nelson comes back in. He'll make the second, and it's now a 3-point Northern Kentucky lead with 28.5 left, and here comes the press.
Well, and that's a big make there from Patton, because now Cleveland State has an opportunity to set up the full court press, 94 feet. And a nice shot by Northern Kentucky to get it in, get the ball to a good free throw shooter and a senior in Trayvon Faulkner, who has been in this moment needing to hit free throws at the end of games many times for the Norse.
He's just under 70% on the season, 68.6 coming into this one. And today, Faulkner has not attempted a free throw. And the crowd goes silent, Brad Redford. And he makes the first. So Evans and Brandon return. Langdon and Nelson go out. A little offense for defense, or I guess in this case, defense for offense. Regardless if he makes or misses it, it's still a 2-possession game with 24.2 left. There's 20 on the timer. And he makes them both, so it's a 5-point advantage for Northern Kentucky. Go Million, hands off to Hodge, a wild 3-pointer, no good. Patton has it taken away by Brandon. And a foul call.
And guess who affected that shot? Sam Benson again. I mean, in so many times in that situation, you see a player foul the team shooting a 3-point shot. I mean, Hodge, a big-time shooter for Cleveland State. If he gets that one off without Benson right there, chances are that one's probably going in. But the true freshman, again, just making a big impact play at the end of a game for Northern Kentucky.
That'll send Chris Brandon to the line for 1 in the bonus. Actually, no, that's the 10th Cleveland State foul. He'll get 2. He's not a great free throw shooter, but he makes the first. He's shooting up just above 50% on the season at 55.6. So that's now 4 fouls on Finstoon, 4 on Hodge. But right now, this could pretty much do it. A 7-point lead with 14 seconds left after the 2 free throws, and Northern Kentucky is in the driver's seat. An air ball laid up and in by Finstoon with 7.8. It's now a 5-point lead for Northern Kentucky, and Cleveland State will call timeout.
Well, at this point, Northern Kentucky just has to inbound the basketball, hold on to it, because Cleveland State has to foul. If you're Coach Gates, I mean, you have to put as much pressure You've had good play from Faulkner, good play from Langdon, but you have 2 guys in Vincent and Ward that are big-time players, and they're getting it done in closing moments.
And now Darren Horn seeing
balance with their depth, being able to throw 9-10 guys at you. They come at you in waves, and Northern Kentucky struggled at times, but they kind of weathered the storm, worked through it, never gave up, kept competing, and have made just huge plays here down the stretch on both sides of the ball.
The game is not over yet here as Langdon gets it, and about a second and a half went off the clock, and it will be Bryson Langdon fouled by Torrey Patton. And that'll put him at the line with 6.4 left, and Northern Kentucky up by 5. If he makes 2 free throws here, again, that's going to be, with only 6 seconds left, that would probably ice this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to that point of the game anyways. But, yes, if Langdon can knock down both of these, I mean, Cleveland State, at this point, it's pretty much done at this point of the game.
He makes the first. And now can he make the second? That's the key. And he back irons it. Cleveland State has a slim chance. Patton, no good, and that will do it. And Northern Kentucky is knocked off the top team in the league as they make the comeback.